The morning sun shone gently over the quiet town as Ollie walked toward his small workshop. The air was fresh and smelled faintly of damp earth and nearby trees. Ollie carried a small toolbox in his hand, and his heart felt full of anticipation. Today was not an ordinary day. Today, he would begin a project that he had dreamed about for many months. At the center of the workshop sat a BMW M4 F82 from 2018, but it looked very different from the car it had once been. Dust covered every surface, the tires were flat, and the paint had lost its shine. Small scratches and dents decorated the body like marks of time. The leather seats were cracked, and the dashboard was layered in dirt. It was a car that most people would have given up on, but Ollie saw potential hidden under the wear and tear. He took a deep breath and opened the car door carefully. The hinges creaked softly, a sound that made the car feel alive in its own quiet way. He sat in the driver's seat and ran his hands over the steering wheel. The leather felt rough and dry, but he imagined it soft and smooth again. He listened to the faint echoes inside the car and smiled. To him, every sound was important. The creak of the doors, the faint tapping of his fingers on the dashboard, and even the soft hum of the engine as he turned the key were all part of the story he wanted to tell. Ollie believed that cars were not just machines. They had memories, personalities, and emotions. This car had been forgotten for years, but he was ready to bring it back to life. He began with the outside. Ollie picked up a soft brush and started brushing the dust from the hood. The bristles moved slowly and carefully over the curves of the car, making a soft scratching sound that was surprisingly satisfying. Tiny particles of dust fell to the floor, sparkling slightly in the morning sunlight. Ollie moved methodically, covering every surface. The roof, the windows, the mirrors, and the sides. He felt a quiet connection with the car as he worked. Cleaning was not just about removing dirt. It was about preparing the car to receive care, respect, and attention. The more he cleaned, the more he felt the car waking up from its long sleep. Next, he focused on the wheels. The tires were worn, covered with mud and small stones. Ollie used water and a special brush to scrub each wheel carefully. The soft sound of water splashing and brushes moving over metal created a peaceful rhythm in the workshop. He imagined how the wheels would look when they were clean and polished, ready to roll smoothly on the road again. Ollie worked patiently, knowing that every small action mattered. Restoration was not about speed. It was about care. He liked to take his time and enjoy every step of the process. After the outside was clean, Ollie moved inside. He opened the doors and carefully vacuumed the seats and carpets. The old leather smelled strong, but he did not mind. He sprayed a gentle cleaner on the seats and wiped them slowly. Each movement was deliberate and soft, almost like he was performing a small ritual. The cracks in the leather were treated with special cream to make them smooth. Ollie worked on the dashboard next. He used soft cloths and brushes to remove every layer of dust. The buttons, knobs, and screen were cleaned carefully. Even the air vents were cleared. The car slowly began to look less tired. Ollie could see its potential starting to shine through the dirt. After cleaning, Ollie turned his attention to small repairs. Some parts of the car were loose or broken. The side mirror had a crack, the front bumper had scratches, and the headlights were foggy. Ollie carefully removed the damaged parts and placed them on a clean workbench. He examined each piece, making notes of what needed to be fixed or replaced. He loved this part of restoration because it was like solving a puzzle. Each piece had a place, and when everything fit perfectly, the car would come back to life. The workshop was quiet except for the soft sounds of his tools, the brushing of his hands over surfaces, and the occasional hum of the engine as he checked it. It felt calm, peaceful, and almost magical. Ollie also checked under the hood. The engine was dusty and had not been touched for years. He opened the cover and looked inside carefully. The belts, wires, and parts were all in need of attention. Ollie smiled because he loved challenges. He cleaned each part gently, noting which pieces were still good and which needed replacement. He imagined how the engine would sound once it was fully restored. He pictured the smooth roar of the M4 coming alive again, filling the workshop with a sound that was both powerful and calming. Ollie knew that restoration was not just about looking good. It was about performance and care. He wanted the car to feel alive, not just beautiful. As the sun climbed higher, the workshop filled with soft light. Ollie took a moment to step back and look at the car. It was still far from perfect, but it looked cleaner and calmer. The scratches and dents remained, but they no longer made the car sad. They were reminders of the past, and Ollie was ready to help the car create a new future. He felt a sense of satisfaction in his work, even though the journey was just beginning. He knew the road ahead would be long, but it was a road he wanted to travel with patience and care. Before leaving the workshop that evening, Ollie carefully covered the car with a soft cloth to protect it from dust. He cleaned his tools and put them in order, leaving the space neat and ready for tomorrow. He turned off the lights, feeling a quiet excitement. Restoration was more than a project. It was a journey, a story, and a connection between a person and a machine. Ollie looked at the BMW one last time before locking the door. He knew that when he returned in the morning, the car would not just be a car. It would be a companion, ready to be healed and revived. He smiled, knowing that the real story had just begun. The next morning, Ollie arrived at the workshop with a sense of purpose. The air was crisp, and sunlight entered through the windows, illuminating the BMW M4 F82 in a soft glow. The car seemed to wait patiently, as if it knew its transformation was beginning. Ollie took a deep breath and stepped closer, his hands moving naturally to the hood. He loved this part of the work, when cleaning had given way to real restoration. The car was no longer just dusty and forgotten. It was a story waiting to be told, and Ollie was ready to listen and respond. He started with the engine. The metal was cold to the touch, but there was beauty in its complexity. Ollie carefully removed parts one by one, laying them out in order on a clean cloth. Each piece had its own place, and he knew that organization was key to success. He cleaned every component with soft brushes and gentle sprays. The soft sounds of water dripping and brushes moving over metal created a calming rhythm in the room. Ollie worked slowly, enjoying the quiet. Every click of his tools, every turn of a bolt, was music to his ears. He imagined the engine running smoothly again, the powerful hum of the M4 filling the air. Next, Ollie examined the wiring. The wires were tangled in some areas, dusty in others, and some connections were loose. He carefully cleaned each wire and checked for damage. With patience, he straightened the lines, ensuring every connection was perfect. He knew that a small mistake could affect the entire system, so he moved deliberately. The soft sound of the wire being adjusted and the gentle taps of tools were comforting. Ollie enjoyed this slow, careful process. It was like meditation. Each motion brought him closer to the moment when the car would start again. Once the engine and wiring were ready, Ollie moved to the suspension and brakes. The wheels had been cleaned, but the mechanics underneath needed attention. He removed each wheel one by one and inspected the brakes. The pads were worn, and the discs had small scratches. Ollie carefully cleaned the surfaces and replaced the parts that were beyond repair. He worked with precision, using tools that fit perfectly in his hands. Each movement was controlled and smooth, as if he were performing a gentle dance with the car. The soft sounds of metal against metal echoed in the quiet workshop, making the atmosphere feel alive. Ollie also focused on the interior. The seats had been cleaned, but the mechanisms underneath needed oiling. He worked on each seat slowly, listening to the soft squeak of the springs and the gentle clicks of the adjustments. He repaired small scratches on the dashboard and polished the steering wheel. The cabin began to feel fresh and calm. Ollie liked to take moments to sit in the car and feel the changes he had made. He imagined someone opening the door in the future and feeling a sense of peace and comfort, as if the car itself were welcoming them back. As the day went on, Ollie moved to the small details that often went unnoticed but made a big difference. The lights were foggy and scratched. He carefully removed the headlights and taillights and polished the lenses until they shone like glass. The mirrors were cleaned and adjusted to perfection. Even the door handles, small but important, were polished until they gleamed. Ollie enjoyed this work because it was satisfying to see the car gradually returning to its original beauty. Every surface, every corner, every part told a story, and Ollie was making that story whole again. Ollie did not work alone. His friend Sam had arrived in the afternoon to help. Sam was quiet but skilled. He helped with sanding and minor repairs while Ollie focused on the more delicate work. They did not need many words because the car spoke to both of them. Each movement, each adjustment, was part of a silent conversation. They laughed softly when a small piece fit perfectly after many attempts. They shared a sense of achievement as the car slowly transformed under their care. By evening, the engine was rebuilt, the wiring straightened, and the suspension ready for action. The interior smelled fresh and clean. The BMW looked more alive, even though the final touches had yet to be completed. Ollie stepped back and admired the progress. He ran his hands along the body and felt the smoothness where dents had been repaired and cleaned. The car seemed to gleam faintly in the evening light, reflecting the effort and patience poured into it. Ollie smiled because he knew this was only the beginning, but the foundation for a perfect restoration had been laid. Before leaving, Ollie cleaned his workspace. Tools were put in order, parts were labeled carefully, and the car was covered with a soft cloth to protect it overnight. He took one last look at the BMW and placed his hand gently on the hood. There was a sense of calm satisfaction in the air. The car had started to come alive, and Ollie felt a deep connection to it. Restoration was not just about fixing parts. It was about listening, understanding, and responding with care. He knew that the quiet work done today would make the car stronger, cleaner, and more beautiful tomorrow. Ollie walked out of the workshop as the sun dipped below the horizon. The town was quiet, and the world seemed calm. He thought about the day ahead, about the polishing, the small repairs, and the final touches that would make the BMW complete again. The car had been waiting for someone to care for it properly, and Ollie was ready to continue that journey. He smiled softly, feeling the excitement of restoration and the joy of transformation. The BMW M4 F82 was no longer just a car. It was a project, a story, and a promise of beauty returning to life. The next morning, Ollie returned to the workshop with renewed energy. The BMW M4 F82 looked calmer under the soft sunlight that entered through the windows. Its body had been cleaned, the engine rebuilt, and the interior refreshed, but Ollie knew there was still a long way to go. Today, he would focus on the car's bodywork and smaller mechanical details. He wanted every part to look perfect and function flawlessly. Ollie believed that a car could tell a story with every curve, every shine, and every sound. He wanted this BMW to speak loudly of care, patience, and attention to detail. Ollie began with the dents and scratches on the body. He carefully examined the surface, running his fingers gently over each mark. The small dents near the doors and the scratches on the hood needed more than cleaning. He used soft sandpaper to smooth the affected areas, moving slowly so the metal beneath would not be harmed. The sound of the sandpaper brushing over the car was quiet but satisfying. Ollie could almost hear the car responding to his touch. He imagined the surface becoming perfect again, reflecting the light evenly and softly. Each stroke was a promise that the car's beauty would return. Next, Ollie prepared the car for a new layer of paint. The old paint was dull, and small scratches and chips were visible even after cleaning. Ollie cleaned the surface once more and applied a gentle primer, making sure it covered every corner. The workshop filled with a subtle smell of paint, and Ollie enjoyed the calm focus it brought. He worked slowly, using a small brush for detailed areas and a soft spray for larger surfaces. The color he chose was the original shade, a deep metallic gray that would shine under sunlight. Layer by layer, he applied the paint carefully, letting each layer dry before adding the next. The process required patience, but Ollie enjoyed it. Each movement brought the car closer to life. While waiting for the paint to dry, Ollie turned his attention back to the interior. The dashboard and control panels had been cleaned, but some small buttons needed polishing and minor repairs. Ollie used soft cloths and gentle tools to clean each button, knob, and switch. The subtle clicks and movements made a soft, rhythmic sound that filled the workshop. He polished the steering wheel again, making the leather smooth and soft to touch. The seats were treated with leather conditioner, bringing back their natural shine and flexibility. Ollie imagined someone sliding into the driver's seat in the future, feeling the comfort and care put into every detail. Ollie also focused on the wheels. The tires had been cleaned, but the rims needed attention. He removed the rims carefully, checking for small scratches and dirt stuck in the edges. Using a gentle polish, He rubbed the metal until it reflected light clearly. The soft circular motion of his hands on the rims produced a quiet, satisfying sound. Once finished, he reattached the rims with precision, ensuring they were tight and aligned perfectly. He imagined the car rolling smoothly on the road again, each wheel spinning effortlessly. The sound of tires moving on pavement would soon join the symphony of the car's rebirth. By afternoon, Ollie began testing some mechanical systems. The engine had been rebuilt, but it needed a careful check. He turned the key, listening to the soft hum as the engine came to life. The sound was steady and calm, showing that every wire, bolt, and part had been placed correctly. Ollie adjusted minor components to ensure smooth operation. The brakes were tested carefully, and the suspension was checked again. Every small detail mattered because Ollie wanted the car to feel as perfect as it looked. Restoration was not just about appearance. It was about functionality, balance, and harmony. Sam arrived in the workshop again in the late afternoon to assist Ollie. Together, they worked on the car's small details, like mirrors, door seals, and the hood latch. Each adjustment was small, but they made a significant difference. Ollie and Sam worked quietly, letting the soft sounds of tools, brushes, and polishing fill the room. There was no rush. Restoration, they knew, required patience. Each moment spent with the car was a moment of connection. Ollie liked the calm environment because it allowed him to focus entirely on the car, noticing things that others might miss. The paint on the body had dried beautifully by evening. Ollie ran his hands over the surface, feeling it smooth and even. The scratches and dents from before had disappeared, and the car now reflected light in a gentle shine. He smiled because he could see the BMW beginning to resemble its original form. The transformation was slow but remarkable. Ollie knew that careful work and attention to small details were what made restoration truly special. Each layer of paint, each polished surface, and each repaired part was a step toward a complete revival. Before leaving the workshop, Ollie carefully cleaned the floor and arranged the tools for the next day. Every part he had removed or polished was stored neatly on the workbench. The BMW was covered with a soft cloth, protecting it from dust and sunlight. Ollie took a moment to look at the car, feeling proud of the progress. The quiet hum of the engine, the smooth body, and the clean interior all spoke of the work done today. The car was no longer just a broken machine. It had personality, life, and a story that Ollie was helping it tell. Ollie locked the workshop door as the sky turned orange with the setting sun. He walked back home slowly, thinking about the next steps. Tomorrow, he would focus on the finer mechanical adjustments and final touches that would make the BMW feel alive in every sense. He felt calm and satisfied because he knew restoration was a journey. Each day added a new chapter to the car story, and Ollie was grateful to be part of it. As he reached home, Ollie could not stop imagining the moment when the BMW would roll out of the workshop, shining and strong. He could picture the soft sound of the engine, the smooth turn of the wheels, and the polished interior inviting someone to sit inside. Every detail mattered, and every careful action brought the car closer to perfection. Ollie felt excited and calm at the same time. The journey of restoration was not just about the car. It was about patience, care, and respect. He prepared his tools for the next day, making sure everything was clean and ready. The BMW rested under its soft cloth, waiting quietly. Ollie smiled, feeling the connection he had built with the car. Restoration was a slow process, but it was one full of beauty, discovery, and satisfaction. Each part, each sound, and each gentle touch told a story of renewal. Ollie knew that in the days ahead, the car would transform completely, and the quiet work done today would make the final result even more rewarding. The sun disappeared, leaving the town under a calm evening sky. Ollie sat on his porch for a few minutes, thinking about the BMW and the journey ahead. He felt a quiet joy knowing that the car was gradually returning to life. The transformation was not instant, but with patience and care, the car would become whole again. He closed his eyes for a moment, imagining the soft hum of the engine, the shine of the polished body, and the smooth leather seats inviting someone to sit and drive. The dream of restoring the BMW M4 F82 from total disrepair to looking new felt closer than ever. The morning sun shone through the windows of the workshop as Ollie unlocked the door. The BMW M4 F82 looked calm and patient, resting under a soft cover. After days of cleaning, repairing, and rebuilding, today was the day for the final touches on the body and the interior. Ollie knew this part was very important. Every detail, no matter how small, would make the car complete. He believed that a car was not just a machine. It was a story of work, care, and patience. Today, he wanted the BMW to look perfect and feel alive in every way. Ollie started with the paint. The previous layers had dried well, but he needed to polish the surface to bring out the shine. He used a soft cloth and gentle circular motions, moving across the curves of the hood, doors, and roof. The light reflected softly on the smooth metal, and Ollie felt a quiet satisfaction. Every stroke made the car glow a little brighter. He worked slowly, making sure every part was polished evenly. The sound of the cloth moving over the surface was soft and calming, almost like music in the empty workshop. Ollie enjoyed this quiet moment, connecting with the car through his hands. Next, he focused on the windows. The glass had been cleaned before, but some spots remained that needed extra attention. Ollie sprayed a gentle cleaner on each window and wiped it carefully with a soft cloth. The glass became clear and reflective, showing the outside world perfectly. He cleaned the mirrors as well, making sure they were bright and free of dust. The small details mattered, and Ollie knew that people noticed these things even if they did not say anything. Each polished surface made the BMW look more alive and closer to its original beauty. Ollie then moved to the interior. The leather seats had been cleaned and conditioned, but he wanted them to feel soft and smooth. He brushed the leather gently, making sure every crack and line was treated. The dashboard, buttons, and knobs were polished one more time. The soft clicks of the controls made a quiet sound that filled the workshop. Ollie enjoyed listening to these small noises because they showed that the car was responding to care and attention. He adjusted the seat positions and the mirrors inside the car, making sure everything felt comfortable and perfect. The carpets and floor mats were next. Ollie lifted them carefully and vacuumed every corner. He cleaned stains that had been there for years, using gentle solutions that would not harm the material. Once clean, he placed them back and brushed them softly to make them smooth. The cabin now smelled fresh and looked tidy. Ollie took a deep breath and sat in the driver's seat. He imagined someone entering the car in the future and feeling calm and happy. The interior had become welcoming, comfortable, and alive, just as he had hoped. After the interior, Ollie focused on the engine one last time. He checked the belts, wires, and fluids. Everything was clean, tight, and in its place. He turned the key, and the engine roared softly. The sound was smooth, powerful, and steady. Ollie listened carefully, noticing every note and vibration. The BMW was ready to drive again. He adjusted minor parts, making sure the engine responded perfectly to every control. The soft hum of the engine created a peaceful rhythm in the workshop. Ollie smiled because he knew that this sound represented success, patience, and care. Ollie's friend Sam arrived to help with the final touches. Sam had been part of the restoration process since the beginning, and he knew exactly how to assist. Together, they worked on the wheels and tires. The rims were polished again, making them shine in the sunlight. The tires were cleaned and carefully inflated to the correct pressure. Ollie and Sam checked the alignment to make sure the BMW would drive smoothly and safely. Every small adjustment made a difference, and the car seemed to respond to their attention. It was no longer just a restored machine. It was alive with care, patience, and precision. Next, they worked on the exterior details. The headlights and taillights had been cleaned and polished before, but Ollie wanted them perfect. He adjusted the lights, making sure they were aligned and clear. The small scratches on the bumpers were touched up carefully. Door handles, emblems, and small trims were polished. Ollie moved slowly, checking every corner and surface. The BMW now looked close to new. The smooth paint, polished glass, and clean details reflected the sunlight beautifully. Ollie ran his hand along the side, feeling the smooth curves. He could imagine the car driving on the road again, turning heads with its shine and elegance. By afternoon, Ollie and Sam focused on the small mechanical systems. The brakes were checked again, and the suspension tested. Every component worked perfectly. Ollie listened to the soft sound of brakes moving, the gentle hum of suspension adjusting, and the click of small parts fitting together. He felt calm and satisfied because these small details made the car safe and strong. Restoration was not just about looks. It was about performance, care, and harmony. The BMW now had all of these qualities. Finally, Ollie took a moment to inspect the car as a whole. He walked slowly around it, looking at every angle. The paint reflected light smoothly, the windows were clear, and the tires were perfect. The interior smelled fresh, and the seats looked comfortable and inviting. The engine hummed quietly, ready to move. Ollie felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The BMW had transformed from a dusty, forgotten machine into a car full of life and pride. The work had been long and careful, but the result was beautiful. Before leaving, Ollie and Sam cleaned the workshop and organized their tools. Every part removed during restoration was stored neatly, and the car was covered with a soft cloth to protect it. Ollie looked at the BMW one last time and placed his hand gently on the hood. He felt a connection with the car, a silent understanding that their work together had created something special. Restoration was more than fixing a machine. It was giving life back to something that had been forgotten. The BMW now had a story of care, patience, and love. As the sun set, Ollie locked the workshop and walked home slowly. He thought about the next day, when he would drive the BMW outside and enjoy the result of their hard work. The car had transformed in every way, mechanically, visually, and emotionally. Ollie felt proud and calm. Restoration required patience, attention, and respect. Today had been a success because every small step had been performed carefully. At home, Ollie could not stop imagining the BMW driving smoothly on the road. He pictured the sunlight reflecting off its clean paint, the polished rims turning quietly, and the engine humming softly. He thought about the comfort of the interior, the soft leather seats, and the clean dashboard inviting someone to sit and enjoy the drive. Every detail mattered, and Ollie knew that his patience and care had created something beautiful and alive. He prepared his tools for the next day and slept with a sense of calm satisfaction. The BMW M4 F82 had been restored almost completely, and the final day would be for a test drive and small finishing touches. Ollie felt proud of the journey so far. The car had gone from total disrepair to looking close to new, and the experience had been more than a project. It had been a journey of patience, focus, and quiet connection between a man and a machine. The morning sun shone warmly as Ollie unlocked the workshop door. Today was the final day of restoration for the BMW M4 F82 2018. After weeks of careful cleaning, repairing, polishing, and rebuilding, the car was almost complete. Ollie felt a quiet excitement. The BMW no longer looked like the dusty, forgotten machine it had been when he first saw it. Every surface gleamed, the interior smelled fresh, and the engine hummed smoothly. Today, Ollie would finish the last small details and take the car outside for the first drive. He started by checking the paint and body once more. The metallic gray shimmered beautifully under the sunlight. Ollie ran his hands gently across the surface, feeling the smoothness of the curves and edges. Any small scratches or uneven spots were carefully polished. The reflection of the light on the hood was perfect, and Ollie smiled because he knew the car looked almost new. The doors, mirrors, and windows were cleaned and polished again. Every part of the exterior now reflected the care and patience poured into the restoration. Ollie felt proud as he admired the result of his hard work. Next, Ollie focused on the interior. The leather seats were smooth and soft, the dashboard shiny and clean, and the buttons and controls polished to perfection. He carefully adjusted the seat positions and mirrors inside the car, making sure everything was comfortable. The carpets and floor mats were brushed and aligned neatly. Ollie imagined someone opening the door for the first time and feeling the fresh, welcoming environment inside. Every corner was spotless, every surface smooth, and every small detail perfect. The interior now felt alive, calm, and inviting. After the interior, Ollie returned to the engine for a final check. He carefully inspected the belts, wires, fluids, and all moving parts. Everything was tight, clean, and in perfect order. He turned the key, and the engine hummed quietly at first, then grew into a smooth, powerful sound. Ollie listened carefully, feeling satisfied that every part was functioning correctly. The soft vibrations and hum of the engine filled the workshop. It was the sound of life returning to the BMW. Ollie smiled because he knew that the car was ready to move, ready to drive, and ready to show the world its beauty once again. Sam arrived in the workshop to help with the final touches. Together, they checked the wheels, tires, brakes, and suspension. The rims shone brightly, and the tires were perfectly inflated. Every mechanical detail was checked carefully. They tested the brakes softly and adjusted the suspension so that the car would ride smoothly. Ollie and Sam worked quietly, enjoying the calm atmosphere. Each small action brought the BMW closer to perfection. It was no longer just a restored car. It had become a symbol of patience, care, and precision. By late morning, Ollie prepared the workshop for the car's first outing. He cleaned the floor, organized his tools, and removed the protective cloth covering the BMW. The car sat in the center of the workshop, shining under the sunlight. Ollie stepped back and looked at it carefully. The metallic paint reflected light beautifully, the tires looked strong and ready, and the interior appeared fresh and welcoming. The BMW no longer carried the signs of neglect it once had. Every surface, every detail, and every sound told the story of care and restoration. Ollie could not stop smiling. He opened the driver's door and sat behind the wheel. The leather felt soft, the seat comfortable, and the controls responsive. He turned the key, and the engine roared smoothly, steady and powerful. The sound filled the workshop, signaling that the BMW was fully alive again. Ollie adjusted the mirrors and looked around carefully. Everything was ready for the first drive outside. He imagined the sunlight glinting off the clean paint, the polished rims turning smoothly, and the soft hum of the engine filling the quiet streets. Ollie drove slowly out of the workshop, feeling the smooth ride beneath him. The tires rolled perfectly, and the suspension absorbed every small bump. The engine purred with a calm, powerful sound. As he drove through the quiet town, people turned their heads, noticing the shining BMW M4 F82. Ollie felt proud but calm. The car had returned from total disrepair to perfect condition. It looked new, felt new, and performed like it had the day it was first made. Every moment on the road was a reward for the careful work of weeks. He stopped at a nearby park and turned off the engine. The BMW sat quietly in the sunlight, gleaming and proud. Ollie got out and walked slowly around the car. The paint reflected the surrounding trees, the windows were clear and bright, and the tires looked strong and new. The interior smelled fresh and inviting. Ollie placed his hand on the hood, feeling the smooth metal beneath his palm. The car had become more than a project. It was a companion, a story of patience, care, and dedication. Ollie felt deep satisfaction. Every effort had been worth it. Sam arrived at the park to join Ollie. Together, they admired the BMW from every angle. They laughed softly as they remembered the beginning of the restoration when the car was dusty, scratched, and forgotten. Now it looked perfect. The soft hum of the engine, the polished surface, and the clean interior reflected the care that had been poured into every step. Ollie knew that restoration was not just about fixing a machine. It was about giving life back to something that had been neglected and forgotten. As the day passed, Ollie and Sam took turns driving the BMW slowly around the town. The car moved smoothly, every control responsive, every sound precise. Ollie felt a quiet joy as he listened to the engine hum and felt the tires glide on the pavement. The BMW looked alive, proud, and elegant. People passing by noticed its shine and clean appearance. Some even stopped to admire it. Ollie smiled because the car now carried a story of transformation. It had gone from total disrepair to looking perfect, and the journey had been as meaningful as the result. By evening, Ollie parked the BMW back at the workshop. He walked around it one last time, checking the paint, the tires, and the interior. Everything was in perfect condition. He opened the driver's door, sat inside, and turned the key. The engine purred quietly, calm and steady. Ollie took a deep breath and smiled. Restoration had been a journey of patience, focus, and care. The BMW M4 F82 had returned to life, looking new, performing perfectly, and telling its story through every detail. Ollie turned off the engine and stepped out of the car. The sunlight reflected off the metallic paint, making it shine beautifully. He placed his hand gently on the hood, feeling a sense of pride and calm. The BMW had been restored not just to function, but to life. Its interior was fresh, its engine smooth, and its exterior polished. Ollie knew that the journey had been worth every hour of effort. The car had transformed completely, and it carried the story of hard work, care, and dedication. As the sun set, Ollie locked the workshop and walked home slowly. The BMW rested quietly inside, ready for new adventures. Ollie felt satisfied and happy. He had taken something neglected and brought it back to life. The restoration had been long, detailed, and careful, but the result was perfect. The BMW M4 F82 now looked new, performed flawlessly, and told the story of patience and care. Ollie smiled as he thought about the days ahead when the car would drive freely, showing the beauty of dedication and love for restoration.